Hello there from wherever you're watching us from. This is Look Up Weekend. Nancy and Nelima here, and it's about time for us to have our evening conversation. We are talking about period shame and how it affects the mental health. To help me break down this subject matter, seated right next to me is Dr. Glory Florentine Kimario, who is a mental health consultant. Good evening.
Good evening.
And welcome.
Thank you.
And we're having this conversation very timely, just ahead of Menstrual Hygiene Day.
Yes.
But before we get into the conversation, I would just like us to take a look at this video about the period shame before we get into this conversation.
To many, it might be costing roughly 80 shillings. But to those from less privileged families, it is a hassle and a determinant to their future. Let me tell you how.
Education is still a hard-fought battle in many parts of the world, especially for young girls from such settlements. According to the statistics, the Bogen Project indicates that 1 in 10 15-year-old girls are having sex to get money to pay for sanitary wear and dropping out of school due to pregnancies or lack of sanitary supplies. Mary, though not her real name, is the first girl I meet. She was forced to drop out of school in her tender age and became a mother of one as of 2015.
Parents died, unfortunately. So ikabidi mimi na siblings tumeenda kuishi na our guardian, which was hard for me. Juu sasa si I'm the firstborn, I have to at least nione hawa wanapata food. So alafu kuishi na guardian is not like you living with your parents. Lazima kuna challenges utapitia, like maybe siku moja ataamka na muti zake akugonge. I had to drop out of school. Juu sasa hizi tusomesha wote. Hapo ni choice ya wewe uende shule ama wenzako waende.
A few weeks after dropping out of school, pressure mounted for her to live a life chased by many of her peers within the slum settlement, a sorry state that forms the ecosystem here.
At first it was so hard juu uwezi uliza huyo mama pesa juu si mtoto wake. So you will have to go, maybe kama uko na boyfriend uende umuulize, and then this man hawata kupatia pesa for free. So inafikanga point hata wanakunyima hao. So you'll have to beg, in that you have to sell yourself ndo upewe pad. So you have to go, una beg in such a way, you go sleep with a man, hakupatie pesa. Na sahi kwanza venye imepanda, so hard.
The desire to afford sanitary towels, among other necessities, to her became a matter of survival for the fittest within a storm.
Thank you, Samia Dika, our reporter right there, just trying to bring into focus the period poverty and what toll it takes on different students across the country. Now, Dr. Glory, it paints now a picture of what is witnessed across the country.
Yeah.
You know, Kenya is among the sub-Saharan countries that is still unable to spread out the sanitary towels, especially to the vulnerable people in society. But before even we get into the challenges, do you think there is progress so far?
Actually, still we are heading there. People, they're talking about it, so which it's a good thing. The taxes about pads and about girls, they're coming out saying there is a problem with it, and also how to get it, also it's a problem. And as we have seen the video, like they have to beg for money, and that's the exchange. So the exchange is with sex. So talking about it, bring that awareness in the society, it's a very good progress so far. So but still, according to the policies and the strategies to be followed, still there is a way to go.
Right, so you say that by us just sitting here and having this conversation is creating the much needed awareness.
Yes.
So this is a good start.
It is a good start.
Right.
Yeah.
And now let's get into it and talk about ahead of Sunday, which is the Menstrual Hygiene Day. There are still many challenges and in school. And we want to bring in the differences. Now, what causes, takes a toll on the mental health? So period poverty. Just give a few statistics according to that. And a report by UNESCO in 2016 says 1 out of 10 girls is absent from school in Africa. So in essence, given an example of here in Kenya, that girls in poverty-stricken areas, they miss up to 2 weeks in every single term, definitely affecting their performance.
Yes. Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about now, what's the first step?
Okay, actually, before that all, actually we need to understand, like, during the menstruation, we do have, even women sometimes don't understand this, we have 2 hormones, estrogen and progesterone, that become low. Now, when they become low, they also affect the happy chemical called serotonin. So when it's low, it causes stress levels to be high. It causes, even a woman can think of suicide, can bring all those mental health disorders along with them. So during this period, this woman is vulnerable. So when you bring, and this is an inside complications. Now when you bring the outside complication, now you bring the income, you bring they're not able to get the pads that they're supposed to use. And some of them, they do use, maybe let's put a pad aside, they do use maybe a cloth, you see. Then there is a problem of water. You see? So like hygiene and all that, for them to keep themselves in a hygienic way, it's a problem. But also the society, the awareness in the society. So it's seen like this period, it's a just a use a word like it's a dirty period, you know, for her. So even the self-esteem of a woman, of a girl, of a little girl, it becomes low. And also there is that shame, like, I am in this period, I'm not supposed to be near any person and things like that. So even a boy child needs to be educated about this, to be told like this is a normal. So like, yeah.
And now that you brought that up, just looking at how different people call it's that time of the month, we don't really say it's menstruation time. Call it different names, and even just for the sanitary towels themselves, some people call them mkate, different names. Does this now just make us understand how much people are just shying away from talking about the real issue?
Yes. And also there is a lot of myth and misconceptions around it. So like, a lot of education need to be given, not only to girls, because even in schools you can find out like girls, that the ones who they've been told remain in the class, then we'll be teaching you about this. Then boys, they've been told to go out, while they're the ones also, they should be staying there and listen. But this is a very special period for a woman, for a girl to pass through this, and you're supposed also to help her, because this period also she's feeling stressed, she's feeling low self-esteem. So you should tell her, you should, even if you see her that she is identifying herself, help her cover herself. And if you are able maybe to get a pad, you can just bring it like she is your sister and something like that. So more awareness should be given to schools, to both genders. This will help us to make it easier to talk about and to be handled in a very hygienic and very well mannered way.
Right. And let's talk about during that time of the month, and there's the mood swings. People always say, oh, maybe it's that time of the month, that's why she's acting, or like that. So there is actually a reason why the mood swings could be there.
Yes, and actually men should understand that we don't like that, you know, us telling us like, if you're mad a little bit, they're telling you like, you're in your period, you know, something like that. It's very disgusting, you know. So like, we know it's our period, and sometimes we don't like to be that way. But a good thing, what you should do, maybe as a man, if you have a sister, you have a wife, you have a girlfriend, you have an aunt, you have a mother, you know, you should handle her with respect, you know, during that time. And also, even if they have those mood swings, buy them chocolates. And if you know they're becoming angry and all that, just get away, give her space. Though sometimes you don't need that space, we want you to still be there and things like that. So you just understand an individual,
so understand
yes, what they want during that period. And just, if she's angry, don't make her more angry. If she needs such kind of food, just be there and hand it over. It's like during time of pregnancy, you know, the way needful, the way we have those mood swings. So it's a normal thing and it always happens. But it's not all to all women, but mostly. Like 95%, we do pass through that. And also to understand about the symptoms that we get. Sometimes some people, they have stomach ache, some backache, waist, legs, headache, diarrhea, vomiting. It just depends all.
Comes with new symptoms every other month.
Yes, and that's the thing. So like, we don't call it as a disease, you know, we don't say it's a disease. No, it's not. So it's a period that is making you in a womanhood. It helps you to know, like, you can be fertile, you see. So yeah, mostly.
So
yeah.
And the understanding.
Yes,
that's
very
the bit,
understanding,
because it is a period
yeah.
that takes a toll on a woman's mental health as well.
Yes, yes.
And then speaking about that as well, our culture, it also plays a role in how the society now views the menstrual period.
Yeah.
There are some cultures, for instance, that if a woman is on her period, then she's seen as unclean. Don't go to the kitchen, don't associate with men, so such things. So our culture, how do we handle that?
Okay, all right. As the way every family handles the way they live, the way they associate with each other, you can't really interfere with that. But mostly it's just to give them the educative way to be far from the myth and misconceptions that are there. So the myth and misconception, if they're decreased, you see, if they're being removed, so even the culture will understand it. This is just like having a headache, you know, it's a very normal thing. It does not make anyone unclean. But also it's a good thing also to understand about the abnormalities that come with the menstruation, so as to be easier for some of the women and girls, if they get these abnormalities, to be able to seek medical help earlier. So, yeah.
Right. And so for these complications that arise with it, then they take, when you are unwell, definitely affects you mentally.
Yes.
So then how should people around people who have complications during this time of the month just handle that?
Okay, like the first thing, you know, mental health is mental health. It's being physically, socially, emotionally, psychologically well, you see. So when one side is affected, then it's a problem. So mostly we encourage the people that are around everyone is around a woman, you know. We say above 35 years, above 45 years, who they haven't entered into menopause yet.
Right.
So this woman needs an understanding, you know. Avoid using words that can degrade more the self-esteem that they have, and also be providing, you know, provide. If it's a pad, it's good, you know. If you see a man going to the shop buying a pad, then it'll be like, wow, the woman, either it's a sister, a girlfriend, a wife, is lucky, you know.
And there's so many people who are just looking at you in that supermarket.
Yes,
like, this is a guy
buying pad, you know. But it's a very good thing. At least you know, Sunday, buy pad, bring it as a gift. You see, we don't want big things, you know. So just buy a pad, bring it, like, hey, this is a gift for you for this month, this coming month that is coming. So, like, yeah, I respect that you're going through. And as we know, like, women, that they're the only ones who carry children. And through menstruation, actually, that's how you can get. So if menstruation does not occur, then you're pregnant, you see. So that's a very, very important thing. And some people, even men also, they become stressed if a woman does not get menstruation, you see. So also it's a very, very important thing. So understanding an individual as individual, because we have different bodies, different menstruation periods,
cycles,
and the cycles are very different. So understanding an individual as individual, and also be there to protect the person, you see, be there to care, to provide during that period.
Right. And what about from our homes? Because then at around the ages between 11, these days it can even go younger, when girls start experiencing the very fast period. And you know, people have different stories. But how can now parents and guardians just make this period easier to transit from childhood now to womanhood?
Okay, as our culture, I'll go back, it's difficult for the African parent to stand up and to tell, to sit down a kid and discuss these issues, you see, discuss about puberty issues and all that. It's very difficult. So they tell them, like, your teachers will teach you. And then when you come to the class, it's just like a subject and it's not that in detail.
Right.
So that's why now the society comes in, the community comes in, the organizations comes in. They have this like membership organization. They bring the children together and they teach them through that.
Right.
But also it's a good thing if as a parent you could be asking, you know, but don't ask because you want your girl to get married. You see, there is that problem also comes with it. So like, but mostly it's the community as community. We have lost that touch that a child is belonging to a community. You see, now a child belongs to a parent, to a family, you see. So a child is not for the community anymore. But if we bring that back, we will be able to help these girls through these puberty changes, through from girlhood to the womanhood. So it will be easier. But also, if we will put energy to educate a boy child, he can be her help, because we are the one who we are putting this boy child as perpetrator, you see, when it comes to the rape, when it comes to these issues that affects the girl child. So if we educate this boy child also, will be a very good assistance to this girl.
So they need to be part of the conversation. I wish we had one of them sitting with us right here, so we can just drum it in. Right, now let's talk about the legislation. In Kenya, from 2011, the government is supposed to be providing sanitary towels for schoolgirls across all public schools in the country. But we know that is not really happening, because we still have that period poverty a lot. And we have seen even in the clip that we just saw earlier that girls are forced to get into sex and many other ways just to make sure they afford a pad during that period. So then there's the legislation and there's the implementation. Where's the gap?
The laws are there, you see. The policies are there, like in a lot of things. But the implementation is the thing. That's where it comes now. We cannot totally depend to the government, you see. If we put a lot of things, if we depend completely to the government, then it takes time to be implemented. Then we, here at the center, we are the community, we are the society, we are the citizens, we are here at the center. So what are we doing? The laws are there, the implementation is not done. So we are at the center. So what are we doing to enforce the laws to be implemented? So we can do some of the campaigns that can push over. There are some of the things that we have been able to push it over. So we can just push it over the agenda, talk it more, every platform to talk about it, every organization to talk about it, every individual to talk about it, you see, then it will be able to be implemented. But also if you look in a reality situation, putting pads every place. There is a period like they wanted to put like condoms, you see, in every hospital, you see, and that then when they finish refilling, it's a problem, you see. So they could put pads in every school, but what about the refilling, you see? So that's the other thing. So we can try as a community, like you see, you can say a certain county or sub-county, giving 1 shilling. It's not a big thing. Like every day, if you put a box maybe in a hospital, you put a box in a school, when a parent comes in, gives 1 shilling, then that is collected, is buying the pads for the children, you see. Things like that, it can help. So we should come up with some of the initiatives that can assist, you see. Like the 13% of some of the taxes that they cut, they can say they take just 1% to buy the pads.
Because this is an essential product that is required every month.
It is. So because menstruation is not a choice. It's
Right.
not. Every woman passed through that. So it's essential. It's a need. It should be taken in that high capacities.
Right. So you are saying that in our capacities
Yes.
as individuals, we have a role to play.
Yes, definitely. Every person. Because, okay, like in a normal way, every person comes from a woman. So take that as a Thanksgiving, you see. You can say you buy, okay, one pad, even though it's not enough, but buy one pad for one girl, you know, and something like that. So if we have those campaigns, we have those initiatives, every individual plays a part, plays a role in it, instead of just waiting for a government to do something, then at least we'll make a step into that. So, yeah.
And as we're talking about menstrual hygiene, then how can women, ladies, young girls, just take care of themselves better during this time?
Okay. Okay, medically, okay, let me go medically. So if you need to track your own cycle, you need to use a calendar. If you don't know, please, the person who is near you, you can ask, you know, track your calendar.
I have a calendar.
Yes, track your calendar. So there is some people, they have 21 days cycle, 28 or 35. It depends on that. So, and some people, they have 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. If it goes beyond 10 days, then that's abnormal.
Right.
So if you track your cycle and you know, like tomorrow or the next after today, after today, maybe I will be having a menstruation, then you can start by having exercise. That will reduce the cramps. If you always have cramps, that will reduce cramps. Avoid eating sugary things that increase the cramps.
Right.
Also, make sure you eat a lot of fruits. During that period, it helps a lot of water to be dehydrated more. Rest, but not if you do have those too much cramps, then we say, like, if you stay in one place, they increase. But also there is it's kind of medically, but it can happen to some, it can work to some.
Right.
So there is in your medially, there is a bone there underneath, then there is a nerve. When you press that nerve, you will feel the pain. So in that nerve, if you massage it to almost like 30 minutes, if maybe I am in menstruation or I'm entering tomorrow, if I massage that nerve, then I'll be okay. I won't feel any menstruation. I won't feel any menstrual cramps.
Okay.
Yes, especially of the stomach. So that also helps. So that's medically if you always have the menstrual cramps. So, but mostly, and also the hygiene. So it depends. Some of those who have high blood flow, they should be changing to 4 to 6 times, and also when you change a pad, change in the pant. You see, for those who use cloth, because not all who use pads. If you use cloth, so have many of them, so that you change regularly, you wash them, you iron them, you see, and also you dry them on the sun. That helps to be very hygienic. Yeah, mostly, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, so the hygiene, very important right there.
Yes.
And what about the areas which are, you know, the vulnerable communities, places where can barely afford food on the table, and so pads seems like a luxury, so they end up missing school, poor performance, and all that. So what would be your message? Do you think then that the washable pads, there's need for such campaigns?
Actually, yes. I like last month, we went to a very interior in a village place, and we taught them how to make reusable pads. You see, this is a community that they cannot afford. As you say, they see pads as luxury, yes. So we teach them, we train them how to make the reusable pads. So these reusable pads, it's easier. They make with the cloth that is, they don't use it anymore, you see. So which it's affordable also. So they make the reusable pads, you just teach them how to be hygienic with them. So it's a good thing also. So like reusable pads, they're not, we don't talk about it too much, because for us we don't use it, you see, and we see it as
not so clean, but it is very clean when it is taken in a very hygienic way. So reusable pads can be used, clothes can be used, and pads as well can be used. So it just depends with the community that you're targeting. But all of them, they can be used. So for this girl who is missing school,
Right.
my dear girl, you can do it. You can be clean, you can attend your school, and you can still have your high self-esteem, and still you can be very, very hygienic. There is nothing that that is stopping you from doing that. So still, even if you're using a cloth, it's a very good thing rather than skipping school.
Right.
So you can use that, and you can be very hygienic. So.
Right. And maybe your parting shot in line with the theme for 2023, just trying to make a period, it's a common thing. So trying to make us understand that it is regular, it is a natural process. What is your last word?
Okay, I will interlink with mental health. Okay,
Yes.
I like saying, like, the day you don't know what to choose your mental health. So even during your menstruation, when you feel very down, you feel very stressed, you feel very depressed, just know, like, your mental health is very important.
Right.
Just don't lose yourself during that period. It's a very short time, and just have yourself, cover yourself, hold up yourself, and it's a respect as a woman.
Thank you so much. And I believe this is a never-ending conversation and creating the awareness. But thank you so much, Dr. Glory Florentine Kimario, a mental health consultant. We'll be having the conversation around period shame and mental health. Just what period shame and period poverty, the toll it takes on the mental health of a woman. And let's keep the conversation going across all our social media platforms. Lookuptv on Twitter, Lookuptv on Facebook, and Lookuptv on our YouTube channel. We appreciate you for watching. Keep it Lookuptv and have a lovely night.